This weekend, the Premier League is going to be back. And guess what? Arsenal are really having threatening injuries. And the latest one is that of Martin Odegaard, a story that I'm going to be summing up the day with. And it's really going to really leave you very frustrated. But with huge frustrations, you have some 2-3 injury boosts that are into the camp of Arsenal, because I'm here to let you know that Jesus is going to be back for the North London derby. Welcome to the Rokani Media Football. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rokani David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rokani David is my name, and hope you guys are really having fun. And we thank God for the gift of life, the Muslims. We thank Allah for the gift of life. And let's see to it to continue to subscribe such that we hit 30,000 subscribers before the end of this before the end of this month, and see how far we can go. But it's really good to have you on here. And even Tomiyasu is another story you're going to be talking about, and another story that has gonna hit across my mind has all been about one thing, and that is all about Ansu Fati, also at Barcelona, having an injury return date that is not far off from exciting Hans Flink. Now, remember, we are powered by Mono Gadgets, and Mono Gadgets are dealers in brand new phones and brand new laptops. You understand? They also deal into what we call used phones and used laptops from the United Kingdom. If at all you really want any of those, call them on +256 70 99 88 665. You can as well WhatsApp them on that number. All else, follow them on TikTok, search for Mono Gadgets, and they will really show you the wide range of products they have at their disposal for you to obviously make a choice, you know. Now, Gabriel Jesus has been one of those players that has been injured, and we all know to it that he has only played, I think, like 10 minutes for this season, because he came on and played like 10 minutes when Arsenal was beating Wolverhampton Wanderers in the opener by 2-0. Then later, he found himself in a situation of missing out on the game of Aston Villa. And even the game that saw Arsenal draw with Brighton, he never really made it to the bench. He was really seated into the executive suite where the players and executives of the club and rich people sit. And most of you have been asking yourselves, when is he going to return? Because the worry has been huge about who is really going to be leading the line for the club of Arsenal. And his injury, I think, went ahead to really drive Arsenal a lot to bring in a player known as Raheem Sterling, because they know he's a versatile player and can play in every position. But we are having a fly on the wall coming in through from Arsenal, and this fly on the wall has names of Hand of Ozil. You know, he's called Hand of Ozil, and he has told us that Gabriel Jesus is expected to be fit for the upcoming North London derby. And I tell you, he's the man responsible for confirming to us that Gabriel Jesus was really injured, and very many others, and the Tomiyasus of this world. So this guy has gone ahead to tell us that, and I tell you, it's right. He's always on point, and Jesus is expected to obviously return So, Jesus is expected to return to play into the North London derby. And the North London derby is really very important to talk about, because Arsenal are really going to be paying, I think, Spurs a visit into the next fixtures. And if Arsenal is really going to be paying them a visit, you know exactly what that means. It really means a lot. And it means that Arsenal will need to win that game of football. And why is this fixture very, very important? It's because Arsenal have dropped points. You understand? Arsenal have gone ahead to drop points, and after them dropping points, they wouldn't like to find themselves in a situation of really losing out onto other points, because Man City is now 2 points ahead of Arsenal. If Arsenal goes ahead to lose out on their fixture against the North Londoners, that is Tottenham Hotspur, and Man City wins, you all know what is really gonna happen. You know, it's really gonna train out into more points. That will be 5 points, Man City ahead of Arsenal. You understand? And Man City would have wanted to play on a Saturday. They are playing Brentford, and I think that's going to be a sure win for the side of Man City. So the coming in through of Gabriel Jesus helps Arsenal really have more options into the attacking front of the pitch, because you'll anticipate that Kai Havertz will lead the line, but as he leads the line, you'll be having another energetic player that can come off the bench and obviously put in the required shift all together to obviously threaten the enemy. So with all that put together, it obviously shows you that Arsenal is really very lucky, because imagine Arsenal coming into this game without Mikel Merino, Tomiyasu, Kientieni, Carafiori. Odegaard is also injured. We don't know what assessment is really going to be, but it's an ankle injury. And which other player is really injured? You know, Arsenal is having like 6 injuries that are really up there for them. And Declan Rice is suspended for this encounter, meaning that Gabriel Jesus' return is really going to be very important into Arsenal's season as we speak right about now. And I know Arsenal fans are really going to be excited about this, because you'll need him. I know there is a group of Arsenal fans who don't like Gabriel Jesus. Like, they would have wanted to sell him and bring in Gyökeres. You understand? But I tell you, he's a big game winner. But the problem is he's returning from injury, and will he return with that fire back on? That is the most important bit of it all. So that is Gabriel Jesus. Very huge boost of him returning, and he's going to be back for the North London Derby this weekend. The other player that you've been missing in action is Tomiyasu, a player that I told, however much Arsenal went ahead, obviously gave him a new contract of 2-3 more years. I told people that if he continues to be injured as he is, Arsenal will dispose him off. Why would they dispose him off? Because if you are not available, you don't make sense to the club. That is it. So right now, we've also been told by the hand of Ozil that Takahiro Tomiyasu has also made excellent progress in his recovery program. So he might be one of those players that are really going to represent for the club of Arsenal in the training sessions ahead of this game of the North London Derby. And you never know whether he can make the squad or not. The squad or not. You get? That is Takahiro Tomiyasu. But for Takahiro Tomiyasu, no reason to worry, you know, because if Carafiori was injured, Tomiyasu injured, and even Julian Timber not showing any signs of returning, then there would have going to be a worry, because you would have going to be left with Zinchenko and a player called Jakub Kivio. But as it stands, Arsenal has Julian Timber fit, and he played in the game of Netherlands, and I think tomorrow that's when Netherlands are playing their last game, and then after they're going to find themselves in a situation of really letting this guy return at Arsenal, and all your prayers should be let him not get injured. So I think Tomiyasu is not going to be an integral player for the club of Arsenal this season. I tell you, he's not going to be that integral, because Arsenal really has very many players that can play into the left back position. Ricardo Carafiori, Timber, Zinchenko, and Jakub Kivio. Those are 4 players that play in the same position, and out of those 4, I think 3 of those are really fit and really available for the game of Spurs. You get? So I think it will be Julian Timber being played onto that side, because he has gonna obviously recover from injury and is playing with the side of Netherlands. So Takahiro Tomiyasu is also back, and I saw a little bit of Kientieni also really trying to return, but Kientieni is all known to be an injury-prone player. He's another player that Arsenal couldn't move on because he was injured, and I know the plan would have gone to be let us move him on before he really gets injured. But before they even went to the preseason, the guy was injured, and there is no way they could move on a player of that caliber. So we anticipate that even if he returns, it's going to be hard for him to get into the team of Arsenal, and Arsenal might obviously see him loaned in January and maybe let him go on a free, or try to sell him in January to any team that would show interest in him. But Aston Villa was one of those teams that were interested in him, and the manager that brought him at Arsenal, that is Unai Emery, is like, we can reunite at Aston Villa to do the job. But he's also on his way back. Leaving Arsenal, let's obviously go to Catalonia, and it's all about some good news coming in through from Barcelona, and it's FF Polo telling us that Ansu Fati is set to return against Girona. He's already training with the team partly. Now, I've gone ahead to see very many people rating off this guy, and I'm like, do you know who you're really rating off? This guy is one of a kind, and for everyone who has gone ahead to rate him off, I think you need to give him more 2 seasons. If Ansu Fati cannot really rediscover his form that he had when he was 16-17 at Barcelona, at one extent that was given shirt number 10 when Lionel Messi left, then he won't make it. For me, I'm giving him 2 years, 2 years, and he's not gonna really tell us anything further, I think 21, 22 years of age, and I tell you, if he cannot really put in a very huge shift to really tell us, to really show us what he is all about, then he won't be that player that we think he's supposed to be. But my strong point that I'm really hinging on, it's all about the man himself, known as Hans Flick, because there were plans of really disposing of this player, but he said no. Ansu Fati is gonna stay, because we all know to it that talent for him is not a question, but a manager who can really uplift his spirit and soul to believe that he can really do it again and again and again and again and again. I think that is the most important bit of it all, and that is the man known as Ansu Fati, and I just can't wait to see him play against Girona. I'm really gonna turn on my TV set and obviously watch him, because I know what it means to have him play the ball and play the game. So guys, that's what we had for you here onto the Rokani Media Football. Jesus back for the North London Derby. You get? He's expected to be back and fully fit. What do you make about it? Tomiyasu is also back, and his recovery is really progressing and moving into the right direction. That is Tomiyasu for you. And then what do you make about Ansu Fati? Do you think he has any way to get into the starting 11 of Barcelona? Because when you look at that front 3, Ansu Fati will need to do a lot to get into that front 3, because Rafinha is a player that Lamine Yamal is going to hit over the bench, and Lamine Yamal plays as a right forward, and Rafinha most times being played as a left forward. And if Ansu Fati is to get into the team of Barcelona, he has to bench Rafinha. But if at all you ask me that, does Ansu Fati has the tools and the minerals to obviously bench Rafinha? I'll tell you yes. He's extra talented, and he's young, he does a lot, and him being a La Masia graduate, he has an upper hand against any player that plays into that position. So for me, I believe he can really do the needful. So I call upon for your reactions in all those 3 stories that are really injury boosts. And remember, we are powered by Mono Gadgets dealers in phones, right? They're really brand new, and laptops that are really brand new. And they're also dealers in used phones and used laptops. Call them on +256 70 99 88 665, and the rest will be history, and you'll thank me later. This is Rokani David, and if at all you are watching us for the very first time, continue to subscribe and hit the notification bell that enable you get notified every time I upload a video onto this channel. I sign out for now. See you later. I'm returning with another video, and don't sleep before it really comes your way. Rokani David says good night to those going to bed, but I'm still awake to obviously broadcast one more video before I also sleep off and really call it a day. Bye bye, my mates. Love you. Die.